I think the thing that made me sad isn't my mum dying, it's the fact that she died and left me with my dad, who was abusive. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing that really gets me. Like, she left me with an abusive person. I don't communicate with that man. And when I seen him, the first thing I said is, Dad, remember when you said I'm going to be a failure without you? This is everything I've achieved.
In all the women that your father's been with, your dad's been with, do you think there was a personality trait or something about your dad that was attracting these ladies?
My dad's a very, very good narcissist. Like, he's like, if you talk about narcissism, like, he is top of the top.
Okay, so we're here on another episode of Hype Talks, and we're joined by, I'm not going to do the introduction. Tell us who you are, tell us what you do.
It's Lovina. I'm a radio presenter per, social media manager per, record label assistant per, and content creator per.
Right, this is lit. Per.
You need to say, yeah, exactly.
Per.
Per.
I've got to say per, man.
Per.
All right, so give me a little background. So you said you're a radio presenter. How long have you been presenting for?
I've been a radio presenter for a year now.
A year?
So yeah, a year. I started off as an intern because obviously I always knew that I wanted to do that radio presenting and shit like that. So
where
can I swear?
Yeah, do you want, man?
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. So when did you realise? So now let's talk about your journey, because the way we actually came across, you said you had a story to tell, and obviously when we spoke, it was quite an interesting thing that you said. So tell us where you're from, how did it all start? So give me a little background on you and let the people know where you're from.
Okay, I'm from Manchester.
Mane?
As you can tell, Mane. I actually went there this weekend to go and see my mum. It was nice. I lived there for 18 years of my life. And then at 18 years old, I came to London, originally for university. That did not work out. I was bare depressed. Like, I had bare anxiety. It was really bad. And after 2 years of university, I dropped out. I dibble-dabbled in jobs. Guess how many jobs I've had?
How many jobs have you had?
No, just try and guess.
I think you've had about 4 jobs.
Yeah, okay, is that your final answer? Cool. I've had 32 jobs in my life.
32 jobs?
I've had 32 jobs in my life. But now I found my career. I found like what I want. So when I dropped out of university, I was going from like job to job, bare depressed. And then I started radio presenting. And I think that's like when I found my feet in London.
So you said you grew up in Manchester.
Yes.
So for the people that don't know, how old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22 right now.
Yes.
So in Manchester, let's take a little rewind. Let's slow down and let's go back to your life. So young Lovina. So you were born up and brought up in Manchester?
Yes, brought up.
So what's your ethnic background? Where are you from originally?
Zimbabwe and South Africa.
Zim?
Yes, yes.
Both parents, one parent, how's it gone?
No, my mum was South African and then my dad's from Zimbabwe.
All right. So now let's start with your journey. So did you grow up with any siblings,
For the first 11 years of my life, it was just me and my dad. But obviously, he's had like a lot of children. So from what I've heard, he has over like 12 children. But I can't like confirm. But that's what I've heard. But sibling-wise, I've only met like 4 of my siblings. And then when I was 11, that's when my stepmom, my beautiful stepmom, came into my life. And then that's when I had my little brother. That's when she had my little brother, Daniel. And then he's been like my main sibling. Obviously, like my siblings are my main ones.
So I just want to know, you just said that. So your dad's got 12 children.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
This man likes to sue. So allegedly.
Allegedly. So you just said that you lived with your mum and then your stepmom came in.
Yes, when I was 11.
When you was 11.
Yes.
So where did your biological mum, did you live with your biological mum until you were 11 or not?
No. She died when I was 1.
She died when you were 1.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's okay.
Whoa. You got stories, you got unraveled.
But do you know what? Yeah, like every single time I'd say that to people, like they're just like, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that." And obviously,
I'm not going to say I'm sorry, because at the end of the day, me saying sorry is not going to really do anything.
It's not going to bring her back.
Exactly. So she passed away when you were 1.
Yes.
So was that medical?
So from what I've heard like lots of different stories from like how she died. But one of the main stories that I've heard is my mum had like a heart problem, and it was like a really big thing. Like she was even in like South African newspapers where like they were trying to like pay for like her heart like transplant, and I think she ended up getting one. But when she came to the UK, my dad was a very abusive man. So obviously like he used to, from what I've heard, like abuse her mentally, physically. And if you're a person with heart problems, obviously eventually it's gonna like catch up with you. So like my dad got her pregnant, and then when she had my little brother in her stomach, she ended up dying. And So yeah.
Wow.
So it's sad. But I think for me, like obviously I love my mum so much. I never really got to meet her, but I loved her so much. But I think the thing that made me sad isn't my mum dying, it's the fact that she died and left me with my dad, who was abusive. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing that really gets me. Like, she left me with an abusive person. Obviously, it's not her fault, But for years, like I was just fuming, like thinking like, why did you have to die? Like if you didn't die, maybe I wouldn't have lived the life that I lived, you know, the childhood that I had, because it wasn't a good childhood.
So now, before we get into your abuse and your story of abuse, let's talk about growing up without a mum at the start. So I'm be real, I'm a mummy's boy and I can't even imagine how it is to be without a mother. So do you have pictures of her?
I have one picture and I put it as my WhatsApp picture so I never lose it.
You need to get that shit tattooed ASAP, man. I'll be real.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't have any tattoos right now, but if I did have a tattoo, I would definitely have my mum's name, and yeah, like a picture of her or something. Because I love her so much. I even feel like, even like when I'm going through like tough times or whatever, I generally do feel like she talks to me and like reaches out to me and things like that. So I love my mum. Yeah, it's just a shame she had to go, but obviously with the abuse that I heard that she went through, it's kind of like maybe it was the best thing. Because, you know, who knows what life she could have been living now.
And who's told you about this abuse? Who was it?
So when I was 16, I had my family members, so my mum's side of the family members reaching out to me in South Africa. They ended up finding me through my social media. I've had obviously like people on the outskirts like coming in and like telling me about the abuse that, you know, my dad used to like give to her. So like literally lots of different people, but it's always he said, she said situation. But it's a thing where everyone's story pretty much aligns. So that's how I know like little bits of the truth. Like I know he was abusive because that's what everyone is saying.
This was your biological father?
Yeah, this is my biological dad.
And when you mean by abuse, do you mean just mental or physical as well?
Mental and physical.
Mental and physical?
Yeah. And allegedly financially as well.
Okay, so like freezing the accounts and taking some...
Just like taking control of the money, like not letting her have control of money and, you know, just doing what he does.
So I want to know, when you're growing up without a mother, firstly, to start off with this, how did you, was there a nanny and who's looking after you when you were a baby?
So for years, my dad had like lots of different women come into our house. Some were horrible. Boy, yo, like some of these women were absolutely terrible. They treated me like shit. They were so mean to me. Some of the women were generally nice, but because my dad's naturally an abusive person, they ended up coming out of my dad's life. But it was lots of different women and my dad. But for a lot of my childhood, I was basically neglected. So like, I could come back home at 7 p.m. and then my dad just won't be in the house and I'll be all alone until like 12 o'clock at night, just watching TV, eating expired bread like in the kitchen because I couldn't find any food. Like it was really bad. Like even the conditions of my house when I was a child, like listen, my girl knows like I feel like I love like being in clean environments because I'm so scared of like being in dirty environments because my house was dirty. Like that man didn't try and clean it. The women that used to come into the house to like look after me, they used to try and clean it as well because it was so bad. We had mice in the house. There was even one cat that used to come inside of the house all the time to eat the mold off the floor.
Where was this? All of this?
This was in Manchester.
This was in Manchester?
Yeah. So like it was so dirty. Like if you say like who like used to look after me, like it was basically myself. Like it was either myself or random women. I can barely say he looked after me.
When you mean by random women, they're your father's partners or your people your father's been with?
Yeah, my father's partners. But at the time I thought they were just his friends. But looking at it now, they were obviously like his girlfriend.
How do you think now, your dad being with so many ladies, do you think that sort of made you have some sort of resentment towards him or made you feel some sort of way? And have you got like any special moment where you remember like a specific lady? Because I'm sure, like, you know, there's certain memories when you're young, especially when you're during primary socialization, you're like, raw. That memory that stuck with me. Chat to me, you got anything like that?
Well, there's one specific woman. So obviously I have my beautiful stepmom, which is like, I love her so much. But before then, we had I have another little brother called Nelson. God bless him. I love you so much, Nelson.
God bless Nelson.
God bless Nelson. But I've not seen him for years, like for a lot of years.
He's your stepbrother?
He's my stepbrother. He ended up being disabled. I think it's because of the stress that, well, let's call her my stepmom, but she's not really my stepmom. Or let's call Nelson's mom. So it's the stress that Nelson's mom went through that, in my opinion, made him turn out the way that he is. But I remember one vivid memory. So I used to be very like, I used to kind of deny my dad's abuse. So I was abused my whole childhood, but I didn't see it as abuse. But I remember one day I was in the car with my dad and then them two were having an argument and then Nelson's mom left the car. And then as she left the car, my dad ran out of the car and literally just started hitting her in the street. And then I remember I looked behind. So I don't think he knew that I seen it. And it's only when I grew up, I confronted him and I said like, listen, I seen X, Y, and Z happen. But yeah, he just started like just hitting her. And that's the first time I thought like,
How old were you then?
Damn.
How old were you then?
I was probably like 8 years old.
And you still remember that?
I still, like, I remember looking back on the car. Because in my head, yeah, like, no matter how much my dad used to abuse me, I used to literally think, like, no, like, this man's an angel. Like, you know, my dad's good and everything. But I think I was kind of like, you know, ignorant to the fact of how he was. But yeah, that's like one of the most vivid memories I have, because I just remember like how, like, this is the woman I used to see as strong, and I just remember how broken she looked, like when she came back into the car. I was thinking, girl. But obviously, it's not her fault. And then obviously she's dead now, like she passed away.
She's passed away.
Yeah, but again, that is due to my dad. I don't even want to explain that story proper, but that is due to my dad. And then like just looking back on it, like I do wish there was something I could do to help. I wish there was something I could do to help all of these women that came into my dad's life, but there's nothing I can do. Do you know what I mean? But she ended up running away. She ended up leaving with Nelson.
But I've got a question though. Do you not think, right? And I want to know this, and I want to know as you're a woman yourself now. Do you feel like there's, in all the women that your father's been with, your dad's been with, do you think there was a personality trait or something about your dad that was attracting these ladies, or do you think there was something?
Yeah.
So chat to me about it. What was it?
My dad's a very, very good narcissist. Like, he's like, if you talk about narcissism, like, he is top of the top.
Like give me an example. Like, give me something. Like
when you meet him, you will think he's such an amazing family man. You'll think he's so family orientated. You would think that he's got money. You would think that he's such a good person. And he brings this persona to the point where you're thinking, okay, cool. And as women, we want to be nurtured. Like, we want to find a man who's a provider, who can look after us. And they're all the qualities that my dad shows to these women. So obviously, once he's lured them into the house, that's when they'll see his true colours. But by then, my dad would have already either had a child with them, or he'll find some kind of way to trap them to the point where they feel like they can't leave. And one thing I realised is that my dad really loved to take like women that were like proper Africans. So like they barely understand like the rules of
African
England.
aunties.
Yeah, but like they barely understood the rules of England. Do you know what I mean? So like he'll be threatening with like suing them. This is why I'm saying he likes to sue. Like he'll threaten with like so many things, like taking them to court, making them lose their job. And because they wasn't born in England and they don't actually know how it is, this is his way that he used to scare people.
Right.
So yeah, it's really sad. And he had a type as well. He loved light skins, you know.
Jeez.
Like
Right.
he loved light skins. Like basically all the women were light skinned, every single one of them.
That was his whole
Except
vibe.
my mummy. My mummy was a dark skinned babe. She was beautiful. She looked like me.
That's it, man. That's what I'm saying. But now, so you just said your dad was a narcissist.
Very, like, the top of the top.
Top of the top. Chat to me about school. Growing up, primary school, you said obviously you were coming home by yourself. Would you, like, when you used to go to school, for example, give me like a daily routine of, let's just say, when you were in about, let's just say 14, 15.
Oh, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you about my primary school days, and the reason why is because from 11, everything changed when my stepmom came. Like my life was completely different.
So your stepmom came at 11.
My stepmom came from South Africa at 11.
Okay.
Yeah, but my dad. If we're talking about primary school days, like this is like the basic primary school day. So I'll wake up in the morning. My dad never taught me how to bath or nothing. So I'll just wake up in the morning without bathing. I'll put on the same top that I've been wearing for 3 weeks, which has like all brown marks around the thing. I would put on my uniform. I would go to school because I was so dirty because of the neglect that my dad gave me. The school would then take my uniform, put it in the school washing machine, and I used to have to bath in school. Like that's how bad my hygiene was when I was a child. Like they generally like made me bath for like while I was in school. I had my little box as well, like with my face on it. So after I've showered and had my little bath in school, the teachers would take out the top from the washing machine and give me a clean top. I would spend my day like in school or whatever, just socializing with kids. Finish school, come back home, look for whatever food is there. My dad wouldn't make food in that dusty, disgusting kitchen, and literally just spend the entire time like just watching TV,
So
writing music.
how would you feed yourself?
Like, sometimes my dad would cook. Okay, wait, what country are you from?
I'm Punjabi.
Do you have like something like fufu, like sadza, like something you eat with your hands?
Yeah.
So like he would always try and cook sadza, but it would either be very hard or like really bad. Like it would be awful. And then we'd eat that sometimes. Sometimes I'd find my own food, but most of the food was expired in the house. Sometimes I'll literally just ask my friends to like buy food for me. Like I was one of them kids, you know, the kids that are just always asking for £1, and like people will make fun of you.
I was doing the same thing. I had money, but I never wanted to spend
But you
my
have
own.
no excuse because you had money. Like,
No,
I was generally doing it because it's like I actually I would come across like all jokey and everything, but I'm generally asking because like I don't have the money type of thing. But yeah, if no one buys me food, then you know I'll just go to school. I mean, I'll just go back home and then just find whatever food is there and whatever's there.
And this was until you were 11.
Until I was 11, yeah. When my stepmom came,
know about the school
they knew. That's why they used to make me bath in school. So that's why I had my own little box. Basically, the floor that my class was on, there was no male teachers, but there was a male toilet. So that's the box. That's where my box was for school. And then, yeah, it used to have like all my washing things or whatever because none of the men would go in there. And yeah, I used to like bath in school and all of that.
But how come your dad didn't get like sort of like, let's just say the council or authorities?
Because, like I said, he's a narcissist. So his excuse would be, obviously my wife has just died like a few years ago. I'm so traumatized.
So your mum's death as an excuse.
Yeah. So he'll be like, and he will even use the excuse, I'm a man, so how can I teach a woman how to bath? Like, I can't teach her how to do nothing. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, he'll really try and like use sympathy as like a kind of way to, you know, like make them feel sorry for him. Because the reason I know this as well is when I was 17, I requested all of my social services papers. So I've read everything. So that's how I know, like, this is the excuse that he used to use all the time. Because even me, I used to think, like, how can I be going through all of this? How can the teachers see me going in school so scruffy? Like, I'll even have the same braids in for like 6 months.
Right.
Like, it was really bad. Like, I used to go into school, like, looking really, like, awful. And yeah, they just wouldn't do anything. But now I know it's because he used to literally just neglect, like, what's the word? Manipulate them.
That's 6 months.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't go like this because you know, have I got like the white thing when you wear lip gloss?
You're cool.
Okay, cool. But yeah, 6 months with braids. Yeah,
6 months with braids.
6 months with the same braids. Like, I could wear the same school top for like 3 weeks until school started washing my uniform for me. Like, it was this man did not even teach me how to be a girl. Even simple things like when I started my period, he never taught me nothing. So like sometimes I'll just be like, not to get explicit, but just free bleeding in school. Like, it was, my hygiene was so bad. And that's why, like, now, like, the thought of anyone ever thinking I'm dirty is so scary for me. Like, the thought of anyone coming to my house and seeing my house dirty it's so terrifying for me because I know what dirty houses are like.
Has that made you overly conscious?
Very conscious, like, very, very, very conscious. Like, I get really, like, scared of people thinking that. Even, like, my mate knows, like, in my house 24/7, obviously, in my old house, what I used to do is I used to have, like, plugs and I used to, like, just plug in, like, the smell things, like, to make my room smell nice. Now, in my new house, 24/7 there's incense, to the point where it just like there's just incense everywhere, like it's so overpowering. But it's like I'm just so scared of like someone walking in and thinking anything.
This kind of reminds me when I was at school, you know them like black jackets, them really shiny ones, them puffer ones.
Yeah.
So I wore that and someone started calling me a bin man. Generally, I know it sounds mad, but it gets so emotional, yeah.
Not the bin man.
Nah, but basically...
Are you traumatized now?
No, listen to this though. So basically, I was about in year 8 and my mum bought that from me, yeah. And during the time, it was one of them ones where my mum was a bit, she doesn't know much about fashion. She just saw it and she bought it for me. It was cool. But then when everyone started calling me bin man, they started doing this thing called smelly because of bins and stuff.
Oh.
Because I got so conscious, I started skipping lessons to have showers.
Oh,
in the middle of it.
Bless you. Like in the school bathroom?
Yeah, just because I went to some posh school as well. So when I was going, and the thing is, my skin started peeling off.
Oh, no.
Because I'd have like 7 showers a day. And I was like, right. And I think, obviously it's not as severe as your situation, but I feel like a lot of that has to do with perception of how people look at you.
Yeah.
And sort of, you start thinking there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Obviously with your extent, because you're not even just getting it at school, you're getting it at home.
Yeah.
You're getting it from the man.
All angles. Yeah.
So did you ever, like, I don't want to talk too much about school, but for primary school, did you suffer like bullying? Did people bully you? Or
yeah, people, I wouldn't say it was severe bullying because looking back at it now, and I don't even want to sound like, I don't like to victimize myself, but if I stank like how I stank, like I would bully that person as well. Like, I don't think you know how bad it was. I had one friend called Desire, yeah.
Jeez, Desire.
It's a nice name, isn't it?
Desire.
So, Desire.
Was she Nigerian by any chance?
No, she was mixed race, Jamaican.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
she was a yard.
Yeah, all right.
But I remember I went to Desire's house when I was a child, And then this was in primary school, and I went upstairs. So it was her mom, her mom's boyfriend, and me, and we're in the room. My hygiene was so bad as a child, yeah. They purposely opened the window. The boyfriend started spitting outside because it was so bad. The mom had to bath me in the bathroom. And imagine your primary school friend is literally watching you get bathed like by the mom. They were giving me like products and everything. And bro, when I tell you, I was so embarrassed. And it was even like worse because I just didn't see it because I just wasn't taught hygiene. So I just didn't see like what they were talking about type of thing. But nah, it was bad. Like it was really bad. So yeah, like I would say I got bullied, but for what, like...
That was your least of your concerns because you got shit at home happening.
Yeah, so it makes sense, everything that I went through.
Yeah.
But then do you know what, yeah? So I remember like my primary school was like, it was so bad and I was like one of the nerds. Like I was like at the bottom of the barrel. So when I got to year 6, I made it a mission that I would not be a nerd in high school. I was like, God forbid. So in year 6, I started making friends with the popular girls. And then when I started making friends with the popular girls, I was watching things like High School Musical. So I can see like how it is with the popular people.
High School Musical.
Literally. And then, yeah, so then when I actually got to high school, because I'd already made friends with like the popular people, I did end up being in the popular group when I was in high school. But it's like I was in the popular group, but I could tell I was at the bottom of the popular group. Yeah, so I was still popular in high school, but like I was popular, not popular.
I get you. So is that when your stepmom came in?
Yeah, school? So she came in when I was in year 6.
She's superwoman, bro. She's giving me superwoman vibes.
Love her, like, me or my mom.
No, your mom, stepmom came to the rescue.
Bro, when I tell you this woman, like, I will forever be in debt to this woman. Like, forever be in debt. Like, she's the reason why I ended up escaping, like, from my dad. Like, she's the reason why, like, I'm living the life I'm living now. Like, she's the reason why I can be, like, who I am now because of her. Do you get it? But before, I don't know how I would have been right now. Like, she taught me how to... My stepmom taught me how to bath. My stepmom taught me how to, you know, try and look good. Because, like, if you've seen pictures of me when I was in high school, bro, I was so butters. I was so bad. So she So no, it was overwhelming. Like, I was so bad. But yeah, my stepmom literally taught me everything about being a woman. Like, she taught me everything that my dad just failed to teach me. Not even couldn't teach me, like he just failed completely to teach me. And like, if it wasn't for her, I generally wouldn't be the woman that I am today. So I love her so much.
So did your did your dad, so when let's just say when your stepmom came inside the picture, so now you're about 11 years old.
Yeah.
So initially she saw your dad. When did she realize that this whole dynamic with your dad is an abuse? Like, was she living at yours?
No, so my dad, yeah, in Manchester, my dad is known as an abusive man. So I think he took every single woman in Manchester. No one wanted him anymore. So this nigga went all the way to South Africa to go and find a woman. So my dad picked her up from South Africa and flew her to England. Wow. And do you know the sad thing about it? As an African, in your mind, you're thinking, wow, like I'm going to England. Her first day in England, the first thing she did when she came into our house is clean the house because the house was so dirty. Imagine that. You just flew from South Africa. You're telling all your friends you're coming to England and the first thing you have to do is start cleaning because the house is so dead. Like, it was really bad.
And you were there?
Yeah, I was so embarrassed. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. Like, because I was really excited for her to come into the house. But yeah, she came when I was 11. She came from South Africa to England. And then... I don't know when she knew it was abuse, but I knew that me and my mum started... Obviously, there was the mum and daughter relationship, but my mum's like my best friend. So I think we became proper best friends when I was around 14. And that's when she started confronting me about everything she's going through. And I'm like, Mum, like, I'm going through the same thing. Like, we're both going through it.
Did she not see when you used to be abused? Or
she could see it. She could see it. Like, she could see it. And obviously, because I'm such a young child, she can't just sit down with me like, oh, your dad's abusing you, So that's why when I came of age, that's when we started having conversations about it. And me and my stepmom will always talk about leaving. We'll always talk about like, yo, like we're going to leave one day. Like we're going to leave. Even when I was 14. And this is something I really regret doing it. But obviously I was being selfish and thinking of myself. But the abuse was so bad at the age of 14, I ended up running away to go and live with my sister. But unfortunately, life with my sister wasn't any better. And that's not to any fault of her own. I think because my sister endured abuse of my dad and had to run away herself, I think she kind of was programmed, because you know what, when you get abused,
you're a product of your environment.
Yeah, when you get abused, you can either go two ways. You can either become a completely opposite from your abuse, or you can succumb to the abuse.
The bullied becomes bully.
Yeah, and I think my sister ended up becoming like that, unfortunately. So I thought I would rather be abused and have one person in the house that's there for me, which is my stepmom, than just be abused and just, have nothing. But yeah, no, me and her did always speak about leaving. Like, we always spoke about like running
Does your
away.
dad have like a drinking problem?
No, this nigga is abusing sober. He's abusing completely sober. He doesn't do nothing. He doesn't do no drugs, no drinking, no smoking. Like, he's just completely sober, abusing people. Like,
so now your stepmom's come in.
Yeah.
When was the first time you saw hand being laid on her?
I can't personally speak for her, and I can't personally say that the things that she went through, especially because she had spoke to me about like, no, saying that the things that she's gone through. But all I'll say is I've seen the abuse like from the start. But so with me, I had Stockholm syndrome. So no matter what my dad would do to my mum, I would always still see him as a good person. Even when, because me and my mum did end up running away, even when that happened, I would always see him as a good person. So from the start, I'd seen everything. Again, I don't really want to go into details because she did ask me not to go into details. But from the start, I could see everything that she was going through, but I was in such denial, like I was when I was younger and I seen my dad slap the woman like right in front of me. Like, I could see it, but I couldn't register it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So yeah, it was sad.
So how like, of course, your stepmom, because obviously she's had her own journey. With you though, how often was the abuse? How often are you saying?
Every day, like every single day. It got to the point, where he used to like batter me so much that like, I remember one day I did something and then he just came to me and he was like, "Hope, go downstairs and eat and come upstairs for your beatings." And I was like,
wait, what?
He literally, like, it was so normalized to the point, like, literally one day he was just like, "Go downstairs and eat and come upstairs for your beatings." And I just knew, like, all right, cool. Yeah.
See now, right? A lot of people are going to be watching this and thinking, in African, Asian, strict households, parents abuse. I've had my fair share of things. When do you know that it's not this? What differentiates?
I was about to say that, yeah.
And abuse.
So I remember when I first came online and I did say the story, I had a lot of African people try and tell me like, it's not abuse, it's discipline. No, because I love my stepmom to pieces. That woman, when I did something wrong, she will beat me. Like, it's not like she will beat me. But I would never ever turn around and say that my stepmom has been abusive, because I know if I'm doing something wrong and she gives me a slap, she's doing it out of love. With my dad, it's not out of love. He is trying to injure me badly. First of all, when he's beating me, so imagine this, imagine if you're an 8-year-old child, he'll hold my hand, so it will always be my two hands are held together by one hand, so he's holding my two hands like this. My feet, he's holding them in the middle. He will never use his hand, he will always use here. And imagine someone just going like that to your face, head, body, everything, just like this. It was to the point, I remember one day I went so dizzy from the way that he was hitting me. And it's not only physical abuse. So there's that part. So first of all, I'm not getting slapped. It's using this part of his hand to just like I'm his up. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And then on top of that, there's the mental abuse that he would give me. Like, he would always try and make it very clear to me. And I don't think people know how damaging this is to a child, but he always used to make it very clear to me, I would never ever succeed in life without him. So no matter what I try and do in life, I would never succeed without him. I will always be a failure without him. No matter what I do, like, I would never ever ever succeed in anything. I used to get neglected again. That's another form of abuse, because as I said, how can I go to school with a white top that's brown? How can I be so dirty to the point where my school has to bath me because my hygiene is so bad? Do you know what I'm trying to say? How can the house be so bad that it's very normal for there to be dead mice all around the house? It's very normal for the countertop for you to literally not be able to see it because it's so fucking dirty. It's very normal to walk into the kitchen, I'm not exaggerating, and for there to be 20 flies. Not the little fruit flies, 20 big ass flies just flying around the kitchen. How is that normal? So with him, it was neglect, it was physical abuse, it was mental abuse. And yeah, like a lot of people say like, oh, but that's just African culture. I think a lot of Africans don't realize that they're also being abused as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, again, with my mum, I know what is the difference between abuse and not abuse, because with my stepmom, she used to beat me as well, but she used to give me love. She used to care for me. She used to buy me clothes. She really tried to like fix me up. Like, she really tried to make me into the woman that, I am today.
Did he ever use any objects?
No, never any objects. It was always this part specifically of his hand, like just battering me, sometimes punching me. He's kicked me before. But I don't think he's ever used an object, not to my recollection anyway.
Did you ever get so injured or so hurt that you couldn't go to school?
No, but I've got so injured that when I was in school, I felt pain. Like I remember like one day I came into school and like I said, he hit me so hard on my head that I went so fuzzy. And that entire day, like I was generally, like I had a banging headache like the entire day. It was really bad. One day he kicked me like so hard that I was like limping like while I was walking. But then I just told the school that like, I just fell over. I didn't fall over. I just got battered by my dad. But yeah, like there's been a few times where I've gone to school and I've had injuries because of that. Because obviously I'm black, I can never say there's been physical bruises on my body, but it's always been like, you know, the physical pain, like the way that I can feel it when I'm at school. So yeah.
Yeah, no. So
and by the way, I laugh because it is funny because I just don't care. Like I generally think if it wasn't for everything that I've gone through, I wouldn't be like who I am today. No. And I feel happy because everything I've gone through, I finally stuck up to him. So it's like, yeah, you've done X, Y, and Z, but I finally stuck up to you. So that's the closure that I have. Like, so from what I've gone through.
When was it like time for you to realize, like, you know, enough's enough? It's time to get out now. So when I was 16 and I'd finished my GCSEs, like everything was chilling, everything was good. Let's take a little rewind. You said your GCSEs, and how was GCSEs during being such an abusive household? Like that's mad.
I think that was the most easiest time in my life, actually. Because my dad's ironically a lecturer, despite being such an abusive man. He was a lecturer in school.
Wait. One sec. So this man is an educated man.
Is an educated man, very educated. He's got a PhD, everything. Like when it comes to educate, this is another reason why I say he neglected me, because he loved education. So like, it will be a thing where he can spend all day in his office. It was just like a little room with his computer. He will spend the entire day in his office, not checking if I've ate, not checking if I've bathed, not checking if anything. Like he'll just spend the entire day learning. But there's not a cent to his name to show that he's learned anything.
What sort of subject or what sort of
media?
So, oh wow.
Yeah,
and
so
now look at you, now you're a presenter.
Do that, and that's what I said to him the last time I spoke to him. I said, everything you wanted to do, I'm actually doing. So first of all, but yeah, so obviously, me and my mom, like I told you, me and my mom, this is my best friend. Like even on my phone, she saved as Mummy, my bestie, because like she's my best friend, and we always used to speak about the abuse and how we would leave. But just to answer your question, when it came to actually do my GCSEs, it was easier because he wanted me to like pass. He wanted me to do all of that. So like I would always go upstairs in his office when he's not there. I would always like revise. I used to use that as my escape. So like I was very good in school. I was always in top sets every single time. The only time where I can say I slacked off was when I got to year 10 and I ended up shooting from set 1 to like set 10, I think I was in.
Bro, it was. They had 10 sets. That's mad.
We had 13.
What?
Yeah. So like I shot all the way down. But then once I got to year 11, I think I went up to 6.
No way.
But 6 set in my school was like set 3 in like a normal school. So it was like, it was all right. It wasn't bad. But besides from that, I was a very smart like kid. Like I was very good, very educated or whatever. So yeah, like actually studying for school was actually quite like the easiest time, because once I closed the door and locked it and said I'm studying, people just left me alone.
So
like,
did you and your mum leave together? Like,
yes. So after I finished my GCSEs,
the escape.
The escape. We need to talk about you should put like a
escape. The escape. Yeah. So.
But yeah, so once I got to 16 and I finished my GCSEs, one day my mum came to me and she said, "Hope, we're leaving." And I just looked at her like, okay. Like that's literally how I said it. I said, okay, because I just didn't really believe it. So I thought, okay, cool. The next day, my dad went to work. And when my dad went to work, my little brother was in school. My mum literally said that day, "Pack your things, we're leaving right now." So I was thinking like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? So like, pack your things, we're leaving right now. So I just started like frantically packing all of my things, like packing all of my clothes. And then, yeah, we literally got inside of a taxi, went to go and pick my little brother from school, and we went all the way to Wigan. Obviously, like, how do I explain that to Londoners? That's like going from London to Essex. So, like, we went all the way to Wigan, and we went to an abusive refuge, so a woman abuse refuge. And then, yeah, that's literally it. Like, it was literally just, like, so, like, out of the blue. And when we're in the taxi, I cannot explain how it felt, but it felt like, wow,
we're finally out.
Because like when my mum said the day before we're leaving, she didn't give me no context. She didn't say nothing. She just said we're leaving, and I was like, "Girl, like what the hell?" And then yeah, we ended up going to a woman abuse refuge. So this is a refuge filled with all women. The only men are like the children that are there, that are boys. we were there for like a few months. Oh my God. I even went to like prom while I was in the refuge.
Whoa.
So like the refuge people, like they bought like my prom dress. They bought
way.
they bought like so everything that I was wearing to prom was because of the refuge. Like the refuge like bought it and everything. And then
Was your mum working at this time?
No, she wasn't working. My dad didn't let her work. Like she worked once, like she had one job, but then he was like, you can't work because you have to look after the children.
So you were living in a refuge with your brother, your mum, and you.
Yes, yeah. It was really cute. It was like a little apartment. So like so I slept in the sitting room because it was like a pull-out bed. My mum slept in the bedroom with my little brother. We had like our little kitchen. There was a communal garden for all the women. So this is a domestic abuse refuge. So all the women in this refuge have also been abused as well.
So did your mum file like a official police report at this time?
No, so she said she didn't want to take it to the police at all because obviously she didn't want to have to go through that stress. Like, do you
not? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you not think that that's also, I think, a stereotype with? You said your mum's from back South Africa.
My stepmom's from Zimbabwe, but she lived in South Africa.
Yeah. So even African culture in general, would you say that's like from people from back home, especially reporting things to the police? It's like a taboo sort of. They're a bit like, I don't want to report it.
I would say that, but one thing that I really salute my mum for is she kind of broke out of the African mentality once she was in a situation where she was faced with a narcissist, like face front. So my mum, you can ask her anything about narcissists. She understands it because she's done her education. And a lot of Africans, like everything my dad did to her, they'll be like, oh no, but you can't do this, you can't report it, whatever. But she was in the mindset of, this is abuse, like this is something bad. So although she didn't want to report it to the police for her own sanity, but a lot of the things that she did, like running away, like taking the child, like doing all of this, a lot of African people would see that as taboo. But my mum broke out of that African mentality.
Broke the stereotypes.
And she understood this is abuse, this is something bad. And the thing I like is she loves to educate people on narcissists so they can also leave despite your culture, despite what you are. And even things like my mum very much understands depression. My mum really understands anxiety. She understands it to a T. Like I can come to her and tell her that I'm depressed, whereas a lot of African parents, you just can't do that with them. So she's very understanding, like very, very understanding. So that's one thing I like about her.
So now your mum's got all this experience of being around a narcissistic man.
Yeah.
Now I want to know you, because I just want to like take a little derail. I want to know, when you're sort of now with chatting to guys or seeing a guy, is there certain signs in a man that give you instant narcissistic vibes straight away? What would you say for all the girls that are wondering, what is a narcissistic man?
So I would say a narcissistic man is a man that kind of puts up a front despite them being like an abusive person. So like my description of it is someone who would come and like promise you a million things. They put on a front. Like my dad, he would really act like he's a family man. He would act like he's a wonderful person. He would act like, you know, he's about like love and care and all of this, when behind closed doors, he's a completely different person. But with a narcissist, they manipulate you in a type of way where you don't know what is the truth. They kind of like disorientate what the truth is. So they can abuse you 1 minute, and after they've abused you, they'll be this nice person that you know. So in your head, you're thinking, surely he's not an abusive person because I know him. Like, I know the way he is. But it's little tactics that they do to like, for example, yeah, they'll be nice to you 90% of the time. So that when they're horrible, and like when I say horrible, like it's bad, that 10% of the time.
They make you feel like shit.
Yeah, you're just like, you won't see it because of that 90% where they're doing it. Or they can like beat you black and blue, but then they'll come home and give you flowers. So in your head, you're thinking, surely they can't be that bad because they've gave. Why are you smiling like that?
Because I'm just thinking like a lot of what you're saying right now. A lot of people would be calling that toxic love nowadays.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is one thing that I say all the time. I've made a TikTok about it as well. Like a lot of these people that want all of this toxic love and all of this, you don't understand that you're with narcissists. You're with people that are emotionally abusing you. And even me and my mom spoke about it. In my opinion, I do think, although physical abuse is bad, like emotional abuse is one of the worst abuses that you can get because it really like disorientates your reality, like your look on reality. They can put down your self-confidence so much to the point where my mom is such a strong woman, but I know that for many years of her living with my dad, he did make her believe that she will be nothing if she leaves him. She will not. That's why he brought her from South Africa to England, because in his head, he thought like, surely like, I'm going to show her the ropes of England. Like, I'm going to show her how England is. So it's a way where they make you feel like you can't live without them. So you have to endure the abuse. And they do it in a way where you just can't tell it's abuse, because 1 minute they're nice, but the next minute they're the most lovely person you've ever. And when they're lovely, they will be lovely. Like, when my dad's good to my mum, he will be good. Like, there's no doubt in it. But then there's intention behind him being good. There's a reason. It's manipulation. Do you get it? So that's one thing. Like, love bombing is like such a big thing that you can never love bomb me. Like, so I don't care.
So now, all of this stuff, all this toxic, this narcissism, do you think it's giving you trust issues, like major trust issues? Do you have trust issues?
Not really. Not really. I would say because like I feel like I'm very like clued up on it. Like, I feel like me living in that household has made me clued up on like what a weird guy is. So like, if you're weird, like I just won't.
But do you not feel like now? Yeah, I want to know this just by talking to you. The type, like the sort of men now, for example, that you attract. Is there a certain way you would want them to be because you've seen what you don't want? Now, is there certain attributes or certain characteristics where? But you know, normal people, when you look at videos and they're like, this is a red flag, this is a red flag. Your red flags must be much more in depth. So what would you say for you is a straight up red flag? Definitely. If you're talking to somebody or if you want to get with a guy or you're in a relationship, like being with somebody like your dad for most of your life and then seeing what that was like, what things do you keep away from? What things are you cautious about?
I think with me, and I know this sounds really like a watered down answer, but it generally isn't. And it's just about, like, I think chivalry is like such a big thing for me. That's like my main thing. So like simple things like just opening the door for me, like just holding my bag or like just opening the car door. But the reason why that's such a big thing is because it shows that in your head, you're purposely thinking about the little things, like the little things to actually care for me. But ironically, and not to give you like some long like answer or whatever, but ironically, because of everything that I went through, once I got to an age where I can start like talking to boys and like looking at boys like that, I was very dependent on love. Like, no matter how bad a person was, I was very dependent. I just wanted to be loved. So like a person can be like, boy, I've had terrible exes. Like, I've had exes that have just treated me like so bad, like, and it was to the point I felt like I couldn't leave them because I felt like I needed that love type of thing. But I feel like now, with love, I don't have a big like expectation, like just as long as you're a good person, because I know what a bad person is. So if you're asking what my red flag is, if you're a bad person, that is my red flag. Like, I'm not very picky about the things that I want. Just as long as you're a good person, we vibe, we get along, and you're chivalrous. That's such a big thing. Like, such a big thing.
She likes a gentleman.
No, like seriously, like if you like, you didn't even open the door for me. Like, I had to wobble through in like 5. But no, like I'm very like big on like just chivalry and like just being like, do you know what I mean? But I'm not one of them people that's like, this is the red flag, this is the red flag, this is, because then I think that way you're kind of blocking your blessings because you're looking too much for the negatives. I understand there's negatives in everyone, but there's a difference between you being a negative person and you being a horrible person, which is like, well, there's a difference between you having negative traits and you being a horrible person, like my dad. So I'm not one of them people, seriously, I'm not like, oh, this is the red flag, because it's too much brain power, like.
It's too much.
Way too much brain power.
Let's take a rewind. So you've escaped. You've escaped. You've gone. How? When did your dad cheat? Like, was there any like callbacks? Like, you'll come back now.
You see this nigga, this my dad. You stupid man. Yeah. We were never going to get police involved ever. We were never thinking about getting police involved. We just wanted to escape from him and just enjoy escaping from him. But him with his fast self called the police himself to say that my mum is kidnapping my little brother. What kind of sense is that? So then, no, we said he's kidnapping my little brother and me. So first of all, my mum's on the phone to the police like, how the fuck can a 16-year-old get kidnapped by me? She can just leave, first of all. And I'm on the phone to the police like, I'm not getting kidnapped, like I'm actually okay. So he's the reason why I ended up going to court. So there was a big court case. He was trying to get custody of my little brother. This is again narcissism.
Was he abusive towards like? How old is your brother now?
He's 11 years old.
Was he abusive towards him?
No.
So do you think he's got a problem with girls?
Yes, 100%. 100%. One thing about my dad is he will bad up girls all the time, but when it comes to a man, he can't say pim. You can't say nothing. And that's another reason why, even my mate, yeah, when I was coming here, I had a whole argument with some bald-headed dude on the train, because one thing I hate, that's my trigger, yeah, that's my trigger.
Chat to me.
One thing I hate is men that you can chat shit to women, you can abuse women, you can do all the shit to women, but when it comes to a man, you can't do shit. I will be the one to argue with you. I will be the one to bad you up. The man he got run off the train. Like, he's literally here trying to bully a woman on the bus. I'm here shouting at him, everything. A man pushes into him while he's arguing with me. He's going, sorry. But when it's a woman, you're here bullying her. So that's one thing I can't stand, and that's my dad. He will always bully women. But when it comes to a man, he can't say shit because he's so fucking weak. He's so weak. So yeah, that's my red flag. You're going to ask me for my red flag?
That pissed you off, innit?
It's men that can say shit to women, but you can't say shit to a man. Say it to a man. Fucking hell.
Say it to a fucking man.
If I was white, I'd be so red right now. Fucking hell. Getting me vexed.
If I was white, I'd be so red right now.
So red.
So red. No, but you're generally just saying that your dad, you're basically saying that your dad can't give the chat to a man.
At all. Not even in any way, shape or form. And that's why, just to go a bit forward from where we are, that's why the last time I ever seen my dad, I'm so proud of myself. The last time I ever seen my dad, I stuck up to this man like I was a man myself.
How long ago was that?
This was like a year ago. This is like about a year ago. So this was the last time I ever seen him. I've not spoke to him since. I don't communicate with that man. And when I seen him, the first thing I said is, Dad, remember when you said I'm going to be a failure without you? This is everything I've achieved. Jeez. I told him everything that I've done. I told him everything I've achieved. I told him about, at that point, I'd only done TikTok. I don't know if you know, I've been on a BBC reality show as well. Uh-huh. So I told him like everything that I've done. And he was like, it was like a switch. And that's like his narcissism thing. So he tried to be nice. The second I said that, he was like, Hope, when did I say you're going to be a failure? When did I say you're going to be a failure? Bell up in my face. And normally when he used to shout at me like that as a child, that's when I used to back away. That's when I used to be scared. But the second he did that, time. I went close to his face and I said, carry on. Like I said, carry on. I'm not fucking scared of you. If you want to fight me right now. If you want to hit me right now. Like, I'm not scared. And I think me saying that scared him to the point he went in his car, he tried to run me over. It didn't work because I stood in front of the car. Like you're not gonna rev the car and threaten to run me over because I'll stand in front of it. Please run me over so I can get compensation. It's hard out here. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, he was bare like trying to chat to me.
Is he still in Manchester?
Still in Manchester, suffering while I'm living good. And then he was like, and then after that, he tried to like pop a shout at me and use all of his tactics, but it just didn't scare me because I'm finally at a point now where I'm like, I am not scared of you anymore. Like the little girl that you used to bully all the time and used to make feel like shit. Like, I'm not that girl anymore. Like, you will not bully me in any way, shape or form, like at all. So I'm so proud of myself. And then I said to him, if you carry on, I will expose you online. He didn't believe me, made a video about him. It got 900,000 views. And now I have his students saying that people are protesting in his university. People are refusing to be taught by him because of the video that I made, because you didn't believe me because you thought I was bluffing. Like, no, he's a horrible man. He's so bad.
He started a whole movement, man.
Yeah.
He started a whole
you didn't believe me. The video's got nearly 1 million views.
Jeez,
nearly 1 million people have seen what a man you are. Like,
you go, man.
What the hell?
BBC, bruv. You got you. Literally.
Literally.
You got you.
I will expose all the abusers. Please don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, that's going a bit forward. But yeah.
Is that yeah, but now do you think not having the right father figure as growing up, do you think that impacts women a lot? As a woman, would you say?
I would say as a woman, it can affect you. Again, like I said, I think I'm a very fortunate person in the sense of I'm very strong-minded. I've always known what I wanted to do. I've always known what I wanted to be. Even when I was a child, like sometimes I would get battered black and blue and I'll be in my room laughing like a psychopath because I'll be like, oh my God, like this would be such a sick scene in my movie. Like this would be like so good when I make my movie about my life. So I think I was very like, although I've been like through all the abuse, I don't think it affected me the way that it would affect a normal person. But again, I think I'm very fortunate because I was a very strong-minded person. But I do think like women do need a man in their life to see how to be treated by a man. Like, I don't know if you see like these TikToks and videos where there'll be men that will say that when they have a daughter, they'll purposely like buy their daughter cars and bags and treat their daughter like a princess so that they're not fazed by some little man taking them to Hacky-Sands and things like that. Things like that are so important because, okay, I would say in that sense it did affect me because again, I'll be impressed by little things. Like, so a boy could buy me sweets and I'll be jumping up and down, like screaming to my friend, like, he bought me sweets. Like, so happy. I remember, oh my God, I remember I had an ex, yeah, and then for my birthday, he said that he's getting me a surprise. So I was so gassed on the phone to my friend. I was like, oh my God, what are you getting me? This guy got me 2 pre-rolled spliffs and he smoked one of them and he got me an edible. I don't even do edibles. And a brown bag. He just gave it to me in a brown bag at a bus stop, and I was gassed. Like,
Really?
I was gassed. So I would say actually it did ruin my expectation.
But at least no one can call you a gold digger. No one can ever say you're a gold digger.
Oh, they will call me a gold digger now. Are you mad? You cannot give me that shit now, please.
Okay.
I beg. But back in the day, yeah, I was impressed with that.
But you know what? Do you know what now? Okay, what I've noticed is, you know when like other girls have like a, let's just say their father's been abusive or their father's not been a part of their life, they gain this sort of resentment. Like it's like they've got like something, like for example, let me give an example. Like for example, let's just say you got abused or a dad treated you really, really badly. They'll be like, I'm never ever dating a man from the same country as my father.
Okay, yeah.
I'm never ever. Or like physically they wouldn't like men who look like their dad because it gives them PTSD.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think that is like a thing for you? Because like I know a lot of girls who've said this, and I've seen this when I'm even doing interviews. Like for example, let me just give you an example. Like let's just say you're a British girl and you've had a British dad who's really been abusive. They'll be like, I'll never ever go for a white boy because they just give me the ick, or they just put me off because they remind me of my dad. Is that like a thing? But does that happen?
I would say that mentality came to me very late. Okay. So I would say, like I said, as a child, I was very should we say like boy crazy? Like I just wanted to be loved. Like I just wanted a man. Like I just wanted a boyfriend. But then when more things started happening with my dad, and I had that last conversation with my dad, it really changed my perspective of men. Because like I said, my dad is like, if you see him on the street, even if you've got lectured by my dad in university, you will think he's the most nicest. There's not one shred of like evidence towards like how he is. But then at home, he was a completely different person. Like he was horrible. So I think it definitely changed my perspective in the sense of like now, which is like a bit late, now I am very like a bit wary of men. No matter how nice a person is to me or a man is to me, I would never think they're a nice person unless I really know them through and through, because I don't know how you are behind closed doors.
But is it not good though? Because now, like with you don't really kind of give me the vibe where you've kind of generalized a whole sort of set of people or a whole sort of set of country or like culture.
Nah, I've not done it like that.
Because you know some people do that, like they generalize.
But it makes sense. Like people come for people like that, but it makes complete sense, especially with everything I've gone through. Like I said, I'm very lucky. I'm a strong-minded person, because everything I've gone through, I shouldn't even like men. Everything I've gone through, I should be a fucking lesbian. Like I've gone through so much with my dad to the point where it's even surprising that I'm able to be like in the same room as a man, because he really taught me that people can be evil even when you don't suspect it. The nicest people in the world can be the most evil people in the world. So yeah, I do think it's good in the sense of I did use my brain. I'm a very much a realist person. So I do see reality for what it is. So I do understand I can't just generalize people, but I will never fully trust a man ever unless I really know you, because you can be the nicest person. And I've seen it with people, like they've been the nicest person, but then I find out they do fuck shit behind closed doors. So, you know, but I like you though, in case you're thinking I'm insulting you.
No, I'm cool.
I realise you're a man as well.
But now, you know how you're saying your dad, all of this. Do you think when you have your own kids,
Yeah.
are you going to be one of them parents that says, even to discipline my child, I'm never going to discipline my child? Or do you think this is kind of...
Me, I'm going to discipline them. Please don't do that shit. I'm going to discipline them. But I'm going to discipline them like my mom. You know, like my mom, she was strict. Like, although she is my best friend... Oh, my neck's hurting. Although she is my best friend now... growing up, my mom was very strict. Like she was very, do this, be home at this time. I used to have to come home at 6 o'clock no matter what age I was. Like she was very strict, like, but the strictness was all out of love. So I do believe in being strict to your children, because I think when you're not strict, that's when you create children like my dad. Do you know what I mean? That's when you create dirty men that are disgusting and just fucking weirdos. And I would even say he's a fucking pervert. Like he's so disgusting. Like there's shit that he's done that I can't even say. But yeah, I would say I would be a very strict mom, just because I don't want my child to turn out like my dad. Like I don't want my child to have the mentality that my dad has. I don't want especially my son. I'm going to be so strict to my son, because the way that my dad views women, the way that he thinks he can treat women, but you can't even treat a man like that. It's so disgusting. So it's definitely changed the way I'd raise my child, because I will be strict. I will be very, very strict. But living with my mum has made me know that I can be strict and also nurture them, because my mum was such a good mum that now when I'm an adult, my mum lives in Manchester still, I live in London. Now when I'm an adult, if I'm walking in the street, I call her like she's my friend. If I have a problem, I call her like she's my friend. Even like personal things. Like if I wanted to talk about, like, let's say now, like for example, I was going through a stage where I wanted to be celibate. I'm speaking to my whole mum about that. Do you know what I mean? Because she's gave me that blanket, that comfort, that I can speak like that. But she's also shown me that there's a borderline, because she's still my mum. So I have to be careful.
Take the piss.
Yeah, so I can't be like, yo, mum, so basically I just went to the club and I can't be like that. But I can be like, mum, do you know what? I'm very worried because there's a guy, like, he wants to sleep with me, but I'm not sure. I can have conversations like that with my mum, like, and she's chilled about it, like, and she'll be like, no, just don't do it because it's not worth it. Da, 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 da. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think having both an amazing mum that's strict and having a dirty dad that's strict for no reason and beating me up in black and blue has really like changed my perspective of how I'll treat my child. But it's positive. It's all positive.
What do you do sometimes when you have like mental retreat, when you go back into thinking about your pain, your suffering? How do you come back up? Because everyone goes through a dark way of just going down that drain. How do you build yourself back up?
I think it's just like looking into the future. So I believe in manifestation so like heavy, to the point where I even watch the way that I speak about myself. Like even I could have 1p in my bank account. I'll never say I'm broke. Like I'll always say like I'm rich or whatever. So I have a very like clear perspective on like manifestation. So I think the way that I deal with like, you know, if I have like any, like if I'm going into
you generally believe in manifestation?
100%.
So, but you know what? You're right, yeah. But you know what? I was thinking about this as well. I believe manifestation is important. However, the hard work needs to come with that manifestation.
But that is what manifestation is about. And I think a lot of these people that come online, and a lot of stupid people think manifestation is just sitting in your bedroom and saying, I will be rich, I will be rich. No, you have to do that and also do the work. But let me quickly explain what manifestation is to me, and then I'll explain what I was about to say. This is manifestation. So the best way I can describe it, when my mum was pregnant with my little brother, Daniel, when she was pregnant with him, me and her used to walk in the street and she used to see prams all the time, baby adverts all the time. Literally everything to do with babies, she will see it 24/7. It doesn't mean that the second my mum got pregnant, all of a sudden people were putting up baby adverts for her. No. But because she's pregnant, she is now in the mindset of having a child. Therefore, her brain is instantly attracted to anything to do with like these children or whatever. Yeah. So if you're a person and you know, okay, cool, I want to be rich, yeah? Anything to do with money, you will see it more than a person who doesn't think that. Because there's opportunities where if you're not thinking about money, you're going to be blind to it. You're just not going to see it. But if you're a person that's thinking about money, you are going to see it. So that's what manifestation is to me. But once you see these things that are attracted to you, that's the universe attracted to you, it's now your job to put it into play. It's now your job to actually like do something about it. Even me, yeah, I'm a social media manager, but at the start, when I first started my agency, I was just doing it willy-nilly. Like I was just doing it, whatever, cool, like whatever comes to me type of thing. Because I was believing in manifestation. So I was thinking that it's going to come to me, but I wasn't trying to do the hard work. The second time round now, when I'm doing my agency, I'm doing the hard work. The opportunities are coming to me, but I'm grabbing them and seeing what to do with them. Even religion, I believe religion is a form of manifestation. You can't just pray to God and God's putting the opportunities in your lap and you're saying, oh, like, okay, like cool, you have to do the work with it. So that's why a lot of people like believe manifestation isn't real, because they believe it's some magical, mystical thing. It's not magical, it's literal science. Like it's not something that it's true. Like it's literal science. When you put your mind to something and you really want to like do something, you will see it more because you've put your mind to it. But it's your job to actually
take the responsibility and go take action.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's what manifestation is to me.
No, that's good though, man. I respect that, because that's what it is to me as well. Actually,
yeah.
You see manifestation, go work to it. Because me, I can say I want to be a millionaire. I want to be. Sitting in your bed ain't gonna be making.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? People say that, but then you're sitting down, smoking, drinking, going parties. Like you can't just say it, because then the opportunities are not going to come to you. Like it's so important to put yourself in the mindset of a millionaire and then do things that a millionaire would do. A millionaire wouldn't sit in their room drinking and smoking every single day, because it's like, bro, like, like, come on, man. And you sit here and say manifestation isn't real. Like, no, it's real. Because like I said, my mom was pregnant. She's seen babies everywhere, but it wasn't because there was more babies. It's because that's where her mind is.
So now, just to wrap this up, next 5 years, what are you manifesting?
The next 5 years, I'm going to be hella rich. Not even the next 5 years. No, literally,
Okay.
like, not the next 5
you
years.
didn't say prr, though. Say it there.
Purr.
Yeah.
The next 5 years, I'm gonna be so within the next 3 years, by the grace of God, I'm gonna be a 6-figure business owner.
Jeez.
So yeah, with my business, it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the next 5 years a TV presenter of something
Jeez.
like
Okay.
either Big Brother.
Okay.
That's the big one I really want to do.
Okay.
Love Island. But I'm a dark skin girly, so I don't know how well that'll be perceived.
You've really breaking taboos, man. You can
No,
do
literally, like, yeah.
Maya Jama, she's coming for your job.
I'm coming for you, bitch. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm going to be a big TV presenter. I'm going to be a presenter on BBC One Extra. That's 100%. And I'm going to pursue my music career. I used to rap. I used to be a rapper and a singer.
I did actually see your singing stuff when I scrolled down your thing.
Okay. Let's not talk about it.
Now go on, then. If you could have one UK collab, right? Like, let's just say you got an opportunity, who'd you do it with? Go and tell me one.
I really want to work with Ivory and Doe so badly. Like, we've texted before and things like that. But I would love to work with her. Yeah. But a UK collab that I'd really want to work with from when I start music, probably Diggity.
Yeah,
I already have a song where like I know that's his verse. Like, I know where his verse is.
Oh wow!
He just needs to write it. Yeah, he just needs to write the verse still.
Okay,
so, I remember. Oh my god! I remember I even sent him a voice note, saying like I rapped the song to him. He never opened it.
No, 100%.
But yeah, literally the next 5 years, I see myself as a millionaire. Like, definitely a millionaire, 6-figure business owner, but the business is just one form of income. A big radio presenter and a TV presenter. Having a big house in a different country. I want to have 2 properties within the next 5 years minimum. And yeah, I just want to have multiple streams of income, at least 7 in the next 5 years.
It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen for
of course.
sure. 100. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.